Hello everybody, and welcome to the latest Worlds of ZZT livestream. I'm Dr. Das, curator of the Museum of ZZT, and today we are gonna pick up where we left off last Sunday, trying to make our own game on stream for a bit. Sorry, it's been quite the morning for me. I'm gonna drop a link here in chat real quick. As some of you are probably aware, my partner works at a unionized Starbucks store, and unionized Starbucks stores have been striking in a wave since Thanksgiving. His store's been closed the past few days, but apparently they got scabbed this morning. They were open for a few hours beforehand, and the mood is a bit more miserable than usual, surprisingly. I usually try to just keep my personal life and ZZT stuff clear of one another. I'm gonna make an exception in this case. There is a GoFundMe for a strike fund. The union. I'm blanking out on the parent union. It's Starbucks Workers United. They are with, I believe it's SEIU. Don't quote me on that. But they're getting strike pay, but some folks do need a little bit more. We've got plenty of folks who are working multiple jobs there, or single parents and such who taking this time off work ain't so great. So I'm gonna just drop off a GoFundMe here. That's for the local store strike fund. I'll pin that. Any of y'all can make a donation to that. It would be super appreciated, but feel obligated. Don't give if you can't afford to give, etc., etc. But beyond that, we're ZZTing. We're gonna pick up pretty much right where we left off. Unsurprisingly, I've been busy this past week. I haven't really done anything to this off stream. Did a tiny little bit this morning, and that's about it. And my initial game plan here of these 9 boards, got through the bottom row for the most part, and a little bit of the center. Let's see if we can get maybe the rest. We're really lucky. We'll see. Let's see. Let's pop on over to Kev Edit. See where we left off. I did go back, make a few very tiny tweaks this morning. Mostly adding a little bit of ammo here because the tiny amount of playtesting we did, ammo was a bit tight. Oh, I also wanted to do this. We had a button here that was going to change tigers into gems, but it was very easy to just shoot all the tigers beforehand and then have this button and wonder what the heck it did. So we're going to put a few extra ones here. They'll be like, ah man, I'm going to have to deal with those guys later. And then they'll press this button and they'll be all excited because they don't, actually. Lucky them. This one was pretty solid. I don't think I really touched anything else. Over here I did a little bit more. I added this little contraption here. The player will either be caught up in the sliders and start up in this section, or if they're quick, they can run on through to here if they want to grab some extra gems. Put a little bit of forest here too, because these ruffians kept clumping down here where the player is expected to enter from, and that was a bit of a pain. I think I also made them a little dumber and a little slower. Make things a bit easier. I know I toned down the spinning guns here that were a bit excessive. Yeah, actually, if we ever set anything up to make this guy trigger. No, yeah, this is... Oh, I did fix our potential soft lock, where I was blocking this part off, but re-enter when zapped would cause players to still spawn on top, and then you could leave this board and be unable to come back to it. I was gonna just simply make this button also get rid of all the things that can do damage to the player, get rid of any bullets, get rid of the guns. I guess it should be the other way around, just stay in order. And also block off the transporters. So if there's any ruffians still left, they won't get hit. And that's pretty much where we were. something I want. Oh yeah, I was just saying I want to get this guy. I don't want it to be the second you open the door, because if you open the door and didn't immediately run through, if you were like waiting for a good pattern, and then I just made this disappear, you'd be like, oh, I'll just go behind them. I want these guys to push at the player and force them to go forward. This section a little more challenging, and doing that is not the easiest task. I think I'll try doing this here. We'll put a secret object here. We'll just blend it in with the walls. We'll have it check for things. It's going to be looping constantly. We're going to put a little idle here, so it's not looping the maximum number of times per cycle. Make it easier on those of you playing on a 286. First, we're going to check if the doors are gone. If there's not any cyan door, go to a second loop. Next. And yeah, I'll just run the risk. Okay, if the player is a little too clever. They're not going to be expecting this, so they're not going to guess in advance. So if they're aligned, and poor old Tim Sweeney spelled aligned wrong back in 1991 and taught hundreds and hundreds of children to spell it incorrectly, the typo will live on forever. If aligned, activates. Otherwise, same thing. Idle for the rest of the cycle, and then jump back to the top of the loop. Activate, we will change our yellow solid walls. Nothing. Oh, there was one other thing I did want to do. I wanted to give players a chance to realize that they're not allowed to shoot here slightly earlier. Thank you, the Green Earring. I do appreciate that. Put a bomb here. They can learn what bombs are. Let's go with yellow. So this way, if they've seen breakable walls, they'll want to shoot this one to go through, and they won't be able to. Simple as that. I think we got a decent board here. I think we are ready to move on to something fresh. Note where my exits are, which is 33 through 37. Have the boards made? Yeah, I have a board made. Let's connect this board. Gonna be a shop. The other things. Reciprocate it so we can go back and forth. Not that there's really any reason to. 33 to 37. Okay. So that's the part that doesn't actually want to be a wall, and this is the part that does. There we go. Now we got our board connection here. And back to our notes. This was my extremely vague concept. Board back in, see what we got. What I want to do is I want to have the player go left, go around something this first time, and then afterwards be able to just do a shortcut through here. So, have we been doing stuff with line walls? Did a little structure here. But so far it's been a lot of normals. Oh, and I keep using the same color the few times I have used it. Yeah, wow, okay. I guess I really like cyan. Let's change these colors up. Let's do something here. Bit of a bend here. This onto this. It's a good color, like, I'm not gonna deny that. Grab this and get it out of our way again. Heck, this could be where the actual shop goes. We'll just... that corner will become shop. I'll give you a different color. Blue in here. See what shape we end up going with. I feel like I'm imagining something more narrow. We'll do multiple columns. Multiple rows. You know I love my symmetry. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. Alright, well you'll be narrow. Doesn't quite line up either. The red here. Make a little arrow path to the green. Here. Okay, I think that's a good shape. Looks like I was going with some keys here. Well, if we do this, you have to do a couple loops. First key will get you through a door here. I want to make sure that it's very clearly blue. Custom colors. I haven't really been using background colors. I've been trying to make this look a bit vintage for the most part. Let's stick with that. I'll do another going. Let's line these up. Yeah, it's only one more tile. Grab that door. Okay. The whole point of this shop is that you'll be able to buy torches. We're gonna have a dark room up here. I've been doing a lot of spinning guns, so I don't want to do spinning guns again, but I was imagining spinning guns here at first. Throw in a little background. Okay, looks decent. The keys alone, I don't need a... Said I'd put tigers here. I'll stick to the original vision. Very scary tigers. Encourage the player to hurry it up. Do some stripes. A little alternating here. This should be okay. That matches. Tigers will be able to shoot through the walls, no problem. Longer it takes you to get there, or they'll shoot up the place. Okay, yeah, it just looks odd because there's a tiger there. This part's incorrect. It shouldn't be that difficult. We'll see in action if this is decent or not. Okay. Bad. Now let's grab one of those big ammo objects we made earlier, because player to run out. Here we go. Our big old box of ammo. Yeah. Grab that. Here. Put another in the corner. Okay. This matches the shape basically. Let's clear out this room then. I think we're good to turn it into a shop. Fill you back. I want there to be 2 entrances to here, but at first I want the player to have to go the long way around. Can't get here until they get past this. Or what should we do to stop them? I've been doing a bunch of sliders. I'm tired of sliders. I just make some doors that are objects that only open from the inside. Let's do that. This straight line. Yeah, we can do a little door swinging animation. It'll open inward. Touch it from the other side. So let's see here. We'll have our door objects. And we're gonna decide what to do based on where the object is being touched from. So if you're blocked to the west, you're outside, so no, don't open. Otherwise, open. Spell our end wrong. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say it's locked from the other side so that they know to actually come back to it later. Open it up. Otherwise, we do open. I want to go east-north. But we're gonna make it a little fancier. Move the east. We're gonna change characters. Our old char command. The door look like it's rotating with a slash. North, and again, make it horizontal instead of vertical. And as fun as it would be to make this door open and close repeatedly, I think we're good. We'll lock it. So actually this has a little issue too, how it's currently set up. I do want this to be at the maximum speed of cycle 1, because otherwise you could touch the door and step backwards and then it wouldn't be blocked. It would be like, cool, I'm gonna open up. Don't want that. We also have to worry about, like, God forbid we had like something running around down here that could block the door from the other side. And then make it so you couldn't open it when you're in here. So mostly we just need to avoid things around there. That's not a huge... So same thing, but we have to change our animation a bit. This one goes east-south. The other slash is hiding. I can never find this one. There we go. Okay. Oh, your cycle one. Okay, good. Okay, we've got us a one-way door. No, I'm gonna do that. About this, we actually gonna for the obstacle here. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll do some transporters again. This way we force a loop. You're gonna have to go around here. Only grab one key at a time. This. You'll have to go through this path a couple of times. So there should be something here that remains a threat no matter what. I don't want to go on. Maybe we can do an object. I don't want to do a duplicator either, just because that's going to be... I think the next board to the right map is... Oh no, not to the right, but I want to do a duplicator board here for multiple enemies. Instead, what are our options here? Not actually a ton. We already did blink falls. We already did spinning guns. Already did ricochet. Maybe we can do a more complicated. Nothing's calling out to me. Could have this curve inward. Put something here. Could just make it tigers, honestly. They're over in here. Ask them. Yeah, let's do tigers and ricochet. Don't want to do an invisible ping pong path, especially if I'm going to have to make them do things several times over. Although this honestly would be a fun spot to... Hey, not a ping pong path, actually putting some invisible walls here. Because your gut instinct is going to be, I'm just going to run. I'm not going to deal with the tigers. Put a few tigers in here. Have them be very random how they move. Well... How about, as I sit up straight here, how about, instead of an actual, we could do ZZT's invisible walls. That's easy. Touch them, they get revealed. There bumps into them, says, ah, dang. Might be more fun to fake it. Have some objects, because then we can really do some shenanigans where passing a certain point just shuffles them around, so the path you take through here is not the same every time. Do that. A few objects. You have to worry that the path actually blocked off. So I guess we'll just have them move randomly left and right. Let's try something like that. We'll give Master, famously. We'll have it shuffle. In this case, we don't want it to not do code. We'll just have it automatically shuffle itself up as soon as you enter. It gets to run. It should start in the center if we're doing this. Okay. Go. Random direction. This is where ZZT is weird, because random north-south, that's a valid direction. Random east-west is not. But you can still make it go randomly east or west thanks to the power of random perpendicular to a random north-south. So this will move east or west. Do that a few. Let's do that 3 times. We could also do it the shortcut here. If I could actually type it. It's not fun to type this. But in my brain, I'm thinking of this as moving one at a time. So, see if we can add randomness to it. We'll do this for now. There's gonna be a few of them. Actually, have we done bind? I forget if we've done the bind command. No, I think all these buttons, yeah, because they change a different color slider. We haven't been able to do a bind command. So we do need all of these to be identical. And I do want to do more to the code, but I don't want to have to adjust the code in every single one of these. Where did I bind? I do feel like I did bind. But I'm not seeing anything that looks like it would use that. I'm doing Control O here in Kev Edit to read. Oh, the pennies! We threw in some pennies for little collectibles. Yeah, okay. Right, so they will point to this code, and we're going to do that again. Wallmaster. We'll do that. Okay. Okay, let me actually look at what this looks like. I'm going to go to the game, because if I'm going to expand on this, I have to know what it's doing currently. Now, that's not how it works. It is not supposed to stay completely synced. That's wild that they all stayed perfectly in sync the first time. But even this doesn't... like, there's still a perfectly straight gap. I mean, you'd have to guess right. How aggressive are they also? They also provide cover, so maybe even this isn't the best idea. We'll workshop it. Could do some elaborate stuff to like really force them to be in different columns, but honestly, it might be better to just have them move randomly instead of just go all over the place. They have to fight their way through. It's a narrow path, though. I don't know how I would like that. It doesn't sound particularly fun to just arbitrarily be blocked. No, yeah, the tigers won't activate shot. That would be cool, though, actually, in this case, if it did. Now, there's nothing stopping us from putting objects in here that just move randomly and shoot. Actually, that might be a good idea. Every time, instead of shuffle, every time it gets shot, it will move in a random direction. North or south? Or east or west? Let's try it. We'll just get some... who knows what. Let's go with some blue. What strange item? I guess these gun-looking things always get the job done. So we're gonna have these guys run in a loop. They can just go random. There's weird particular peculiarities, random movement, where these both move it randomly in all four possible directions, but this one is biased to east and west slightly. Just because the boards are wider than they are tall. I guess it doesn't make a difference. It rarely does. You really have to be like looking for it to notice. Have a very big open space. But we're definitely dealing with that's taller than wide instead of wider than tall. So I think we'll go with the classic, the long form randomness. Do that. Well, shoot west. I'll speed him up a little bit. I can take a moment's break. D. Same thing here. Find. Well, let's see. What is this going to look like? Is this engaging? It works, actually. This isn't too bad. Get hurt, but not like excessively so. I think we'll go with that for now. We do now have to deal with the fact that we're going to hear objects shooting forever. Our options are to either deal with it or to mute all sound on the board, which is also kind of weird in its own way. These guys aren't firing too crazy, so I don't think it's bad. Though I do think Solid HUD, I actually put something in there to deal with how noisy it can be when 100 objects are shooting at once. I'll just run with that. I think that's okay. We can always make it too, once all the doors are gone, we can stop the guns or whatever. Oh. Okay. There. Oh, I have the title screen running in the back. I keep getting got by the duplicator on the title screen. What the heck that noise is. Let's make these look a little different. Don't want them to look like sliders, even though they do only move left and right. Here's what we'll do. I'll instead play a little note instead. I think that'll override the shooting sound if a custom music is playing. So these get shot, they play a sound. And the next time they play a different note. G. Just play our scale here. And for this last one, instead of zapping, we'll restore and we'll start that all anew. I forgot to put my move label. Hey Ellipses, we're just making a game. We played Darby Town last week, and now we're just making a little game similar to it where you run around the town and grab stuff. Trying to keep it fairly simple, but not be afraid to do some coding. So we're going to make sure every single time we get shot. Okay. I think I'll change the character too. I think this will work out. I mentioned a bit last week about the quirks of using bind and zapping labels. Zapping for one, zaps for all. But that's kind of convenient here, because it means we will always, no matter which one gets shot, it's going to go C, D, E, F, G. We'll always play in that order. Let's see what this sounds like. Beautiful music. It's not drowning out the actual shooting sounds. It's just kind of making it noisier. Well, it was worth the experiment. That's conveniently, we don't need to update a bunch of objects, though. Get away with one. We, go back on my I don't want Ricochet's way. If we put some Ricochets here, so that there's no safe rows, and you really want to go swing around either side of these. That be anything. I worry I'm spending too much time on this, given how much there is to do still. Okay, one more go. Oh, not Darby Town. Our unnamed game. One day I'll come up with a title. Okay. Okay, I don't mind that so much. Yeah, yeah. No, that's not bad at all. I'm okay with this. We'll ship it. We don't have to worry. This here. We still need this section here. No. Oh, some conveyors. We haven't put any conveyors in yet. That's something new still. Clockwise and counterclockwise. All right. Quite spaced right. Grab the two of these. Copy that. I did mention last week, too, when we were talking about conveyors, that there is, unfortunately, a bug where the player can kind of get destroyed. Putting other obstacles here is always scary. Might do then. No, let's not do these. Let's put some bears in here. We haven't had any bears. Very sensitive bears. Second column. Lions in here, so when you start breaking through, they can get loose. Yeah, I like how that looks up top, actually, with it cleanly arranged. Do ammo, something here to just kind of block things, just so it's less likely that the transporters have any trouble. That should be good. Do that. Want anything up here, or is that just going to be a moment to catch your breath? I think we can give the player a break. And a pretzel. Where's our little healing item we've been... Here's a pretzel. much health are those? 30? 20. Lots of pretzels. Okay, so we've got all that. Build a little shop down here. I think they're gonna scatter a bit. Give me them around. It's okay. I think it should be okay. Let's just test it just to see. I don't think it's going to be an issue so much if they do. I would have definitely more than 0 ammo here, but but yeah, this kind of, they break open a little bit while you're running that way. Yeah, because they're so sensitive, you have to really be waiting. And I mean, you're gonna do a little bit of waiting here, probably. But yeah, I think it works out. Yeah, no, you'll regret going through a transporter that has all these enemies right in the front here, but you can. Plenty of health refills up there, and the reward for this board is that there will be a store and all that money we've been collecting. Oh, did I not? I didn't connect the board backwards. I gotta make sure to do that. I think we're good with that. Let's see here. Oh, right. It's initially blocked off. I did that for a little curtain effect. Okay. So it's okay that we can't. We'll put a few more gems. Have we done anything? We've done pennies, we've just been doing gems. I don't mind just a small bag of cash. Something. Using yellow for health, so I just used green for some gems. I could just do a green dollar sign. That'll be fine. That doesn't matter. Speed. Dollar sign. Wow. Let's make it a 10. Luckiest man alive out here, just finding 20 bucks on the middle of the road. Do that. Little counter. I'll go with red, just because we're using yellow for doors. Corner here. Corner piece. Place a dude. And I could make every counter activate it, but I figure if there's a dude on the other side, it kind of hints to touch that spot. Welcome to my shop. Can I get you? We're gonna get some player choice here, which we haven't done yet. Some hyperlinks. Say, always tweak later. Let's say 10 ammo, 5 gem, 25 ammo, 10 gems. We'll do some bulk savings. You know, let's do it like this. Let's do a couple little shopkeepers for each different thing. The player will get a list here of selectable options. If they choose the first one, it'll jump to a label called 1. We take away their money. We provide a label to jump to if they can't take away that 5 gems and they don't have the money. No free stuff here. Money's been taken away successfully. We give them the ammo. Here you go. Let's play the ammo sound effect. The Snorb last week who just had it committed to memory and posted it in chat when I was looking for a sound effect. Now I'm taking advantage of the fact that the museum just has a quick link to them. Okay. ECC D. Yeah, you can really tell KevEdit's audio playback is not quite correct. Not busted or anything entirely. Useful. Not perfect. Oop, wrong thing. Thing. We'll make it slightly different since I'm copying and pasting. 10 gems for 25. Enjoy. How about we play the sound effects a few times for the big ammo. That'll be number 1. One here. See if we can ram in a couple of spots. Yeah. Light it up like that. The E piece pointing right. You'll sell ammo. You'll sell torches. And this guy sell delicious pretzels. The universal symbol of health in the city. It's not going to be a concern with this game, but there's no sense keeping the code in here and making the board take up more memory. How much memory are we using? This is actually probably one of the busier boards we've got. 6,000 bytes. Yeah, I mean, we got 20,000. We've got so much room in this case. Anything else come close? 4 by 4,000, 4,000, 1,000, but that's still missing dialogue and stuff. But yeah, if you're doing a basic game like this that's mostly relying on built-in things, it's very difficult to actually hit that limit unless you're writing walls and walls of text. Kind of like the way this accidentally connects. Yeah, but it's not going to connect here, so I'm not going to worry about it. I say before saying, well, do I like how that looks? And the answer is yes, I do. So you know what? We will do it like that. Oh, I forgot though, this door needs to move up and over here. We're going to have to... Sorry, buddy, your real estate is shrinking. Okay, torch seller. You can be green. Pretzel maker. You can be a dragon. Okay, it's going to be similar enough that I'm going to put the same kind of objects here. Now, the famous ZZT game called Civian. That's kind of a hot mess these days, people realize. But one thing about it that will always live with me is there's a torch salesperson that says beautiful torches for beautiful people. And if you're going to be a torch salesman, I can think of no better sales pitch. If you buy this, it's because you're beautiful. We don't... Torches... Honestly, even 10 torches is going to be plenty for what I plan on doing with, like, one dark room. So we're going to adjust the numbers a bit. Make these pricey. There is a... Actually, how many gems have we given out? Because we do need to make sure that the player can actually afford these torches. There's no guarantee that they're going to go up to the dartboard and realize that they need them. 3, 6, 12. 6, 30, 32, 35, 39. Technically more with the tigers, but 39. Again, a lot of this stuff is technically optional. We're gonna... I mean, I'm giving them, what, 20 bucks here? Yeah. What we should do is make sure the player knows. Torches. What if we just put a guy who's just like, yo, it's dark up here. I wouldn't advise taking this route without any torches. Reason we can't do that. Be direct. And you'll just be a dude. There we go. We can make it so the player can... Well, I do want them to be able to see the... Well, obviously not see if it's dark. Have him not actually block that. He can just be chilling over here. So I don't need to do any more than that, really. And, you know, just for the fun of it, we'll, you know, if you shoot them. I'll have them shoot back at you. Don't be a dick, and you won't get shot. Simple as that. And just to make sure players are enticed. Alright. Happy with all of this. Here. I know we were good with how the bears were moving, but I think just for some... less empty space barrier there. You're good. Torches. We updated the text, but not purchasing. Or no, we're still taking gems. We're taking 10 gems for 5 torches. Already said enjoy. I hate incidental dialogue. Let's say thanks. 10 for 20 gems. 10 torches. Oh, I never actually wrote the code for them being broke. Hang on, hang on. Let's do that in the first one here. If you don't have the money, you don't have the gems. Copy that into others. And you. Okay. Apologies if I'm going a bit fast. To buy a one pretzel. Let's do one jalapeno pretzel. Spicy pretzel, more health. That's how it works. What are they giving us? 20 health? 20 health. Let's see, health. Oh, am I gonna have room to fit? 50's a lot. Gotta be double for this to be worth it, though. No, too long. Well, I mean, we just do that. Oh, we didn't change the sound effect. I'll do that later. I don't need to do that directly on stream. One pretzel. 8 gems. 20 health. 15 for 40 health. I could have inserted the accented text for jalapeno. Alright. I think we should have a fully playable board. I think that means we're good to go to our... Let's do our dark mysterious maze. It's going to be easy to line the exits up because it's only one tile. So I'll just put the cursor in advance. The dark maze. Everybody loves dark maze. No, they don't. Board is dark. Yes. Go to our board properties there. That up. Have this. Start. Then become its own thing color-wise. Big shape. I'm making this a transporter maze because 1, it'll be faster. 2, if it's dark, it's kind of fun for the player to just get like yanked around and have no idea where they're going to end up when they go through a transporter. And 3, much less boring. I can put stuff in little... Let's actually like fill the space out. One thing I was thinking is specifically, in case the player goes here early, we want them to not... Yeah, it is a good sound. If they're running blindly in, we don't want them to get it. So we're going to start with a left and a right. We're going to need a bunch of these. So this is where the custom pattern buffer comes in handy. I'll set these ones. Put that in slot 2. Okay. Order here. Let me make the general shape of a room here. What we do. Here, okay. But move this one down a little bit. You know, not too big a deal how centered they are, honestly. Frankly, I don't even need to make this such a regular shape, but it makes it very easy to quickly just connect some paths. What did I grab? Oh, I guess I grabbed bottom. I mean, yeah, no, that makes sense. What do we got, like 20? No, not 20. There's only 3 rows. 15 little chambers here. Let's do... So if we're using a custom editor like this, we can place some elements we normally couldn't. I'm going to put some blink wall rays like from the construction site, but with no blink wall, they'll never go away. So that'll be our indicator that, hey, this one's blocked. Here, we're up. Down. Our 4 directions, our background walls, and our little... Okay, that should be all the pieces. We'll add a split path here. Play. Sure. Okay, yeah. Starting to see what kind of actual path I'm making with this. Up through here. Through here. Down. That'll get you into this one. That can't be anything. Only way to get into here then is going to be through there, so we'll make sure that. This is going to be our goal spot. Rectangle, go left, up, right, up. Oh, actually, on. You can do some fun things with transporters if you actually think your way through it. I think we'll be okay currently. Actually, you know what? We're going to test this. We don't want it to be dark for that. Close this route off. Oh, I was going to put too many at some point. Mostly because I'm keeping these centered. I can do some fun stuff if I make them not quite line up, so then I can have it so you transport up into here, and have another one that transports you down, but back into here. I'm keeping this way too simple, but... Yeah, so something like this here, where taking either of these 2 columns down is going to drop you here. do. Close off you. Go to the right. This also makes it very easy. We can have it so once you get your goal, we can have something like tunnel the way to the exit. So you don't actually have to do it backwards. I'm gonna put placeholder gem in every section. Just to confirm we can get to every room. Right now it looks like this one here on the right center can't be reached. Going here. I got rid of my up. There, put my gem. Okay. That should be enough to go all over the place. They're kind of small chambers. I can definitely make them a little bigger. Or add some, like, weird bends things. Maybe. Let's just make sure this all works. Load the world. Let's see. I should be able to get every gem. Oh, I don't think I actually have a way to that. Yeah, I need a right one. The top center. Oh, that one. Okay, so we're... Yeah, I did in fact screw it up a little bit. Oh, didn't put one up there either to receive. Okay, I did a bad job, everybody. What did we learn? We need a down pointing one here. The left pointing one here. I want rid of this one. I think. Take two. Okay, I'm able to get in the middle. Okay, I need a different up for here now. Oh, I didn't. Well, going back to give it in anyway. You need an up here. Here. No, because all the ones that go right from here. Okay. There's one room we can't reach now. The best bet. Another way into here if I get rid of this one. Got rid of that. And that makes this one connect with this one. We'll be able to right, left, up, right. No. You need. Well, I mean, that'll be fun. You'll see that there's one in every direction here. Okay, I think this should be good. I'm realizing since it is such a small maze, actually, I might keep the gems. I might around a bit or something, but trying to make it so you have to grab them all before you can actually pick up your goal. I'm just gonna put our statue pieces. Yeah, okay, there we go. Alright, so that works nicely enough. I've decided I don't like these. These look ugly. Let's clear them out. And play around with the color a bit more too. This doesn't need to be solid blue. Let's do I regret them not being quite aligned, but you know what? Again, it'll be dark. You won't be able to tell. Hey, Nicole. Well, come on in. We're making a transporter maze, as one does. Their colors a bit. Darkroom Transporter Maze, an old classic. You can't go wrong with Darkroom Transporter Maze. It's a pretty baby one. There we go. And it'll be a bit more colorful now. We can do white border. There we go. Beautiful. Stained glass appearance, give or take. Did decide I want to keep the gems, but I want to position them a little bit better. Oh man. I guess you'll have to. That's all good, that's all good. I haven't placed any of the actual MacGuffins now. But there's going to be one in the center here. I'm going to block it off in a moment. It'll be fine there. There. Okay. But one last word of warning. There's really stress. Hey, dummy, please don't try and do this in the dark. You won't have fun. But I can't stop you. I don't think I really want any obstacles because these rooms are very, 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 very tiny. Nothing that I would trust. I don't think I specified what piece. Oh, that's right. This one doesn't actually have a piece. This one has a key to go back and get the piece. I haven't used a green key, right? I just want to make sure my notes. Red would be there. Yeah, there's the green door for it. Blue keys. Okay. You've been good about not using green. They'll be so excited. Little will they know, they can't just get the key. That will put center you instead, now that you're being put. A mechanism. Gemma. Okay. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 5. 15 gems. We'll actually make the player lose those gems. I've been giving them plenty. But we want it specifically to be these gems, so while we are going to take 15 from the total, we want to make sure that there aren't any here. If there's any green gem, nope. Otherwise, I'm going to call that uh-oh, because if you take all the gems here and then spend them, then uh-oh. That's where I'm at. It's 90s game design, baby. Sometimes, if the player's stupid, they get punished for it. Let's see if there's a green gem. Those gems have to be gone. Yeah, we're looking for green gems here. And then we're going to take that away. Probably don't want to leave in the middle. Oh yeah, shoot. Well, I mean, we can fix that, because there's no danger here. So there's no real reason to shoot either, so there. Now they can't shoot. There. I think there's probably some bizarre case if you go out of your way to try and soft log it, or you can still, but like, it's a dark transporter maze. You're not going to run through it voluntarily an extra time to see what happens. And if you are, then I'm going to teach you a lesson about not doing that. Well, we're still covering it. We're getting to decide what happens here. If there's no green gems, we're going to try and take all 15 gems. And if for some reason we can't do that... Oh, did you spend them all on pretzels? I mean, it's still fine, actually. Here, we can even not punish the player. We can be like... There. Gemma's not. Be nice to her. Actually, yes. Did you spend them all on pretzels or something? Game over is tempting. No, I like that more. That's more fun. That's more in the spirit of an early ZZT game. If you want to be a jerk, the game will be a jerk right back. Hope you safe, nerd. There. That's our contingency. The game will end. There. Clarify a bit more. To entice players who have the money to just try their luck. Okay. There's like no way you'll need extra torches. We'll put a few contingency torches here. There we go. That should be good. On a perfect board. No notes. I've been going on for almost an hour and a half now. I'm gonna run my ad break real quick here. Get back. On to the next board. Dark for the next time we test. So stick around. We've got what? 4 to go? Probably want to do a little more with the park, but we basically got 4 to go. One of which is a puzzle that I kind of made in advance anyway. And it isn't much of a puzzle. I made it at like midnight. So stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Let's just get right back to it. We're on to the next board then. Will be the winding path to the north. We had a park. I definitely want to put more things in here. I'm cool with this being like a chill board where for once the player can't like get shot or lost in the dark or murdered by Gemma for spending all of her gems that you had no idea were hers until you talked to her. We'll definitely put some stuff here at some point, but for now, I believe I coded these. I hope I coded these. Blue open. Yeah, this was the last thing we did last week. For opens. Make this wide. Try doing it this way, actually. Copy the tiles. New board, the winding path. Sides. No, I apparently didn't actually copy that, so that didn't work. 25 through 30. Copy. Not let you copy a bunch of empties? You know, surely you can make an empty selection. Why is it acting weird? 530? Whatever, 2530. There. Okay, now we need to really test my ability as I try to draw something roughly, vaguely, kind of like a figure 8. Let me do that from negative space. This is gonna get very bright. Let me a little less bright. Shape. Cool with this being a bit more wild. Almost looks like a pretzel, which is good. That's what this game is all about. Maybe we should make it yellow, like our pretzels in the game. I know it'll boo and hiss. The color choices on the border, but like an outline. Kind of. I think you can be a bit scribbly. Nobody says it has to look perfect. Only ZZT had dark colors. If only brown was an option. If only there was brown. If only somebody had done something about this. The park is just red. Make sure. Okay, that I think is our rough shape. Problem is actually having it be this diagonal. We don't want it to be actually this narrow a path anyway. So let's carve this down. Especially here, because this part currently looks like it would suck to navigate with how much you have to change direction. That's, oh, I didn't mean to keep drawing. Patch that up, more or less. More empties. This makes for very scribbly boards, but doesn't look very pretzel-like anymore. I suppose that got lost in the sauce here. This down a little. Yeah, that's more or less the shape. Don't want those to be breakable, though. Have we been using yellow and purple? I'm just trying to not use all the same colors. I know I've been neglecting white. I feel like I've done a lot with red. Actually, ironically, as much as I was talking about cyan line walls, outside of those line walls, what's that then? We're gonna make you so bright. Too blue. Yeah, this looks okay. Let's smooth this out. So our goal here, clear out on the right side. Where's the middle? We want them to do a couple laps. We'll try this. Yeah. Doors. I want to do something. I want to make sure that they have to do an actual figure 8, so I definitely have to restrict them from just running up in here and through here. Best bet for that. We do like a box in the middle, because again, I want monsters that get duplicated in. Yeah, now we have a little bit more of a choke point. Forces you to go a certain way. Yeah, you know, it's easy to detect the player if we ever have a narrow path like this that forces them to pass something. So we can have some doors or something out of the way as needed. Go back to the old sliders because it's easy to have them spawn and push in. Here. Right now that forces them to go all here. This happens. They get to this point. These ones go away and they get replaced different set. That. This one. Okay, so either the green will be present or red will be present. Still overcomplicating this. Just because I'm doing 2 here. Oh, that kind of adds up. 2 here and 2 there. Nah, this should be fine. Start with this. Patch up the walls a bit. So, around through here. Green ones wouldn't be there. He gets somewhere here, and then the green one's up. So, little spot here. There has to pass this point. We'll make it visible, but blend in a little bit. Make sure this is cycle 1 so the player doesn't accidentally run past it without it triggering. This will be a checkpoint. Contacts. Activate. Player brush is next to this. Player hits here. Change the red sliders to always be looping that, always be checking for the player. When the player's found, change red. Both kinds of sliders. Say green. Activates. Well, the green ones to turn on. Make some sliders and then good. Next we'll have a green. Let's use this code as a basis. Green. This one should, no, this one does not loop. It does activate. Overthinking. Didn't actually really need any of that code. 5 sliders to the east. Put east. Green. East-west slider. Do that 5 times. That. Boom. Here. 1 to the west. Boom. Okay. No. I think the easiest thing to do actually is some more transporters here, just to one here. This, when you run past this point, the red ones here. So now we want to copy this again because this is our other spot. Get rid of the green, if there's any here. Red will then kick in here. Red, we need 1 to the east. One red slider, please. 2. 2 northern. Okay. I'm gonna test this. I think we can also actually not have any to start with, because this first one will spawn them in. I think we should be good to do some loops. Go back to ZZT itself. I'm going to actually turn up the game speed a bit, because if there's nothing but an empty figure 8 to lock, that's boring. Our transporter is going wild at high speeds. Yeah, okay, so we're now committed to this path. Fight our way past here. Can't go that way, we've got to go this way. Here, this should change. Beautiful. Yeah, there's no advantage to... We can technically go pretty far backwards, but there's not really any reason to. Back out here. Ah, we forgot something. Okay, almost working. What's happening here? Oh, we didn't tell this thing to ever reactivate. We need to go back to its main loop once. Oh, wait a second. An immediate going back to checking. There's no sense in having it activate 10 times in a row if the player like stands there. Okay. That, I believe, should do it. And then we'll see how much this shape changes. This is going to be a tough. Ramped corridors for shooting enemies. There we go. Okay. You are loop. Turn in our key if we had one. Alright, I'm comfortable with this then. Oh, I almost saved the game and not the world. Okay, so that works out nicely. I'm gonna actually remember to change the game speed on ZZT before I go back here. Because that's definitely going to make the action tough. Alright, so I'm saying 4 keys. You're going to be on this board for a hot minute. See if I chicken out in testing and reduce it to 3. I think this looks like a nice spot for them. Highlight them a bit. Let's use the power of text to get brown without using an enhanced color palette. We'll cheat one that in. We can do that here also. Kind of draw attention to... Whoop, word wrap. The exit here. Hate that it keeps wrapping. And I think I would like it more. Never satisfied. Okay, so what I would want to do is make sure. I remember it was just like mind blowing, and it's funny how like obvious it was in hindsight. I remember seeing like some brown tree trunks and just being like, oh, yeah, I guess you can just do that, huh? Oh, enemies, enemies, enemies. We'll do something a little more complex here. Every time you pass this one, we're gonna do We're gonna do random monsters. As fun as star throwing tigers may be, I don't want it to get too overwhelming. I'm thinking my original idea was like if I had something a bit more tighter, like just having monsters come in from the corners specifically. But I think it would be better off to just kind of pepper them around the path. I'm gonna do monsters roll. I put a few duplicators. Getting the speed right is going to be wild because it's going to be a nightmare for testing because I don't know how much health or ammo I would actually have. I need like to give myself some for debugging here to start here, but I have to actually see what it's like for players who have played through the rest of the game. Here, here, north here, to north around here. See what this looks like. What we're gonna do. Oh wait, I think I have these backwards. This always confuses me with how KevEdit words it. That's actually not a bad idea, having it running green sliders. I kind of like the idea. What I want to do is give the player a little bit of a break and not get completely overwhelmed, and every time they're going to clear a lap, it's going to erase all the existing monsters and then put new ones behind the duplicators. So it's going to be a fresh, basically as if you just entered the board every time. Might be able to like do an escalating pattern too, where like at first it's just bears, and then lions, and then ruffians, and then finally tigers for each key. That could be fun. I think that's what I'm gonna go for instead of trying to actually randomize it in any way, because that's gonna suck so much for testing. Can't just say fight lions 3 times or fight tigers 3 times. You're gonna get very different results. I think because we're going to be spawning them in, we don't get to actually set their stats. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's all going to be 0. So the tigers aren't actually going to be super threatening. But I think trying to, like, make it a little more difficult. It might end up being that ruffians are more of a pain than tigers. I'm just going to go to a blank board here. What do tigers with the lowest intelligence and firing rate look like? There was a red door and a green door. Oh, yeah, actually that also makes sense. This is the problem with doing things on the fly and also not wanting to spend all of December on it. Let's see what this looks like. What are you guys going to be? So far, pretty lion-like. I think ruffians would be more of a pain than this. They are shooting. Because those ruffians are gonna not rest for very long. Oh, it's hard to say. We'll see if it works out. Doesn't. Well, that doesn't line up. Sure. Put a little text on the board. We haven't really done any like flavor like that. They're very unthemed boards currently. I said that this is going to be like a Darby Town style game, and outside of one board being titled Construction Zone, and when you look at this, it's still not very Construction Zone-y. It's coming off more town-like. More dungeons, really. Yeah, we can definitely write some stuff down. Let's see, let's get back to... Okay, monsters roll. Handle it. Weird character. Baby Park. I do like that, yes. This is the worst baby park imaginable, but you could bring a go-kart here, I suppose. First time, we're gonna try bears. Second time, all this. The second time, we're gonna try. Oh, well, I mean, it's not just put bears. It's put south bear. Put south lions. I'm gonna try tigers. Ruffians. And I don't think players are going to be super encouraged to go through this board multiple times, but if they want to, we'll just let it chill with lions. I think that's a decent compromise for the rest of them. Oh, right, I gotta make sure these, I think, are pointing the wrong. Yeah, because it's the direction of the thing you want to copy. Yeah, because it's going to be looking... These ones should be north. You should be north. You should be north. You are north. You go north. These ones go... No, I'm still doing it wrong. You go north, and you go north for your original monster. These ones all go south up here. You go south. You go south. Everybody going south. I can't really use bind because I'm going to need objects named... I mean, I could use others or all to send to everything on the board, but then I gotta change my label since I keep using activate also. I'm just going to duplicate the code and have some regrets in the future if I decide to change things. You would be north, but otherwise identical. A lot of ZZT's limitations come down to do repeat yourself, actually. Repeat yourself a lot. Is this good or bad or what? What does this look? Yes, must find out. No, let me hang on. Let me put a little debug object for some more ammo at least. There's probably going to have a decent amount at this point. Okay. They're going to actually be running. They're going to be good to go before this kicks in. Also, I didn't make them initially activate. Wait, no, I thought this was supposed to make. Wait. Oh. I didn't call it activate, I called it roll. Oh, Where'd my window go? Sorry. I had the wrong label here for them to go to. Yes, yes, I hear you. We need a delay there. That's very cool, though, how that looks. I almost want to keep that. I kind of do. To make it look like it's shuffling. I'll just shuffle it. Because if the Tigers aren't going to be shooting super much, and the Ruffians are going to have, like, no real rest time, they're not going to be all that different from Lions. Most of these enemies are going to be pretty similar, other than the Bears. Which even the Bears with, like, low sensitivity will kind of... I'm just going to see what that looks like. Why does my window keep disappearing? Keep minimizing things and not changing the scene. Fun as that is... See, I have to change all these objects code. Okay, no, I'm rejecting that because I don't want to do that. And we wait a while. I mean, technically, nothing stops the player from just standing there and constantly triggering this. Need like a checkpoint. Another one in the middle here. Tell these things like, hey, next time, you're ready. If there's any green slider, not glider. If there are any green sliders, if there aren't any green sliders, don't worry about it. Go back to looping. Think this will fix it? Alright, red sliders for you. They're already gone because you already did this. We do need the initial sliders to be present though, instead of it being green sliders. Go here. Here. Red. Okay. We'll see they're obstructed, but you know, it's the only place they can go is following the path. Alright, now we might be onto something. Nope. Now nothing is happening. What's your deal? If contact activate. Player. There, it hits activate. There aren't any green slider. Oh, because wait, are they both east-west? Hang on, did I actually screw that up? This has to be east-west. West. Okay, it has to be east-west. That's my problem. We do both kinds for the red, so the other object will be fine. What is this? Take 4? Take 5? Bears. Much as I hang around here, we're still in red slider mode, so it won't reactivate. Oh yeah, and the fact that they're actually on low sensitivity does mean they kind of will attempt to be a threat. I didn't pick up one of my keys. That's another reason to make sure that there's a default case at the end. Okay. Alliance, but now we need to get rid of all the existing monsters. That's fine. I want to have a separate object do that. Will just also be named monsters and activate. You can just live away in the corner here. Monsters activate. I could specifically just change the right monster. I think I would just want to change all of them. Oh, but I need to make sure. I'm gonna do. Give this a different name then, and just send this. Eraser, erase. Put a small delay so that it can act and erase the current monsters before the new ones show up, and that way we can get away with erasing everything. A Monster ZZT game would be incredible. That sounds like a Will game. I think if anybody would be doing that in the community these days, I could see that being a Will game. But I would love to see a Monster ZZT game. I can't imagine what that would be. That eraser, erase. Erasing. There, the lion, tiger, ruffian. Okay. Load this up. Air mode. Kind of get a break for the first set, but whatever. I mean, actually, I say that, but it's going to reset. I think you're always going to get a break for those first two. I guess, well, it depends on what time where the duplicator is at in its own cycle. So it's really going to come down to when you finish a lap. Going to use a lot of ammo compared to everything else so far. Yeah, okay, so that time I approached it in the lion's way. I didn't open the door! I was supposed to be the big brain genius programmer here. No, we did fix that. We did make it. It's looking at what color sliders are there, so I guess. No, because you're cut off, so I think you're in the clear. There's a lot of monsters. This gets scary. Oh man, now I am worried about the tigers. Yeah, this is actually really going to be extremely resource intensive on the player. I keep forgetting the door. I will forever forget the door. I need better signage on the door. Okay, so we have the right idea. We have the right concept. Might do. Yeah, I mean, I definitely gotta give the player something as a break. A few energizers to hold on to. A limited number of those might actually be a fun idea. Oh, this actually lines up with the other key. That's perfect. I can be a bit lazy about it here. We're going to put another object on the side. I'm going to actually make this Again, another loop. Again, another aligned typo. There. Now it's my own dang fault. I'll make sure you go back to looping. You could also make it not even use the keys and just every time you run the lap, because this guy's like monsters activate currently, that counts every lap. Yeah, I think energizers are definitely a fun idea. You don't want to make them last. Yes, the energizers will give you a bit of a break. I do health and ammo for sure. Yeah, and once a lot of these boards, once you finish them, boy, I do feel like if there's any board that's gonna want to make the player go back and buy a pretzel, probably gonna be this one. I mean, we could also pacify this board. We can get rid of like the duplicators. Let's do that. You adding all these little contingency objects. I love how everything has to be physically present on the board. Door check. If not any yellow door, please type yellow. Done. Continue looping. We're done. We're done with the duplicator, not the door. Change duplicator. They won't do anything if we change them into blink walls because they won't have their direction set correctly, but that'll make for a nice... Oh. The center character there will be a nice little cross plus shape. That'll make that easier. One last bit of tunneling through here, maybe? We'll do this. Strange. Something strange is on the wall. Tell the strange object to tunnel. We'll clear a path back. Any danger still on the board, I think, will live, unless you're smart enough to run through here again, but that's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 over. We're gonna go 6, 7, 1. First, we clear the path. Put an empty space over. Make it look a little prettier. We're gonna do 8 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then have this guy here. Okay, I think that should let that happen. Still want to give him some ammo and health. Let me make sure this guy works. After that, I'm going to be back in a minute. I'll run another ad break quick. This. Fast. We have the Energizer now. Oh yeah, the fact that it's going to spam the message while you stay there too is helpful. I mean, I didn't put that one at the most useful spot, I suppose. Well. Door. For once. Yeah, no, this is better. This is definitely better. Because that's not going to last forever. If you're using 2 of them, you're only getting 2 laps. And it's going to be worth it to actually save them. Now you're going to be like, oh, the monsters go away. Thank goodness. And you're going to be like, oh wait, but they're lions now. You'll probably still use this because it's still obviously helpful. That helps keep the lions away a bit, because they also try to move away from you instead. Yeah, whatever. Okay, scary tiger time. This is when you say, oh, why did I use all my energizers? I'm a dummy. Have many regrets. Not actually too bad. We actually still have 1. It's really this last pocket, because this is the one that has the most time to punch up. Still dying. I would like 100 health to be enough. Didn't actually test. There you go. I wanted to just make sure that the tunnel tunneled. So we gotta get rid of these doors. I'll remember them all right. Will this thing tunnel right? There we go. That looks nice. Yeah, and I mean, that guy won't be there, so you can't stop talking. Alright. I'll be back again in just a couple minutes. And, we'll try adding some ammo or health. Figure something out. I think it also needs to replenish, but probably not to the degree that everything else is. We'll see. So, I'll be right back. Hang on. Alright. Let's get back to this. He actually just came home, and both of us need to do lunch. I think once I get some health and ammo on this board, this is where we're going to call it today, which means I mean, there's only like 2 more boards, really. And this one I technically have done. I was just messing around the concept. Not the greatest concept, frankly, but again, it'll do. So our issue here is health and ammo. We need the player to have some treats. Honestly, the answer probably is just to duplicate some pretzels and ammo. Kind of luck out with how ZZT works here. Grab that pretzel. I should really just have it on like the title screen for reference going. Yeah, I'm gonna do that here. Have our universal pretzel objects. Our universal big ammo. And I haven't used these fun little pennies in a bit, but they're just some bonus points, but we'll probably need them at some point. Let's just put this stuff in the corner of the title screen so we have it easier to find instead of digging through every board. Give the player a tasty treat. Best to put it. Do it like half and half in the you. Yeah, I'm just gonna let the duplicators do their thing. Be fast, but not too fast, and because objects can't be pushed, when it duplicates once, it won't be able to, like, produce another. So you'll only ever get really one at a time unless you pick one up and then wait for the next cycle. And, you know, maybe you get a good cycle, you grab it, and another one, like, immediately appears. Actually, we do have, although, you know, I'm talking about, like, how convenient it is that ZZT handles it this way for us, but that's also actually difficult. Because if you stand in front of a duplicator when it duplicates, it will touch the source object. Oh, you know what? This is actually very easy to fix in this case. Because the source object won't actually be next to the player, just say, hey, if this thing is being touched and the player isn't directly next to you, don't do anything. We won't have to worry about it. I think that line will actually just magically solve all our problems. And you don't actually need the leading pound sign. Oh, yeah. I was just about to point that, yeah, just pointing that out. You actually don't need to. It's just, again, a funny parser, a weird quirk. Anything that would be a label here or command, it just doesn't need it for some weird reason. Don't look at me. But this will work just fine. Those. I'm gonna do more extra energy. Put it. I'll embed it a bit. Okay. Let's see if I can actually beat this board with my one debug objects. 100 ammo, 100 health, like... Players have not been losing 100 health on the previous boards, so I really don't actually want them to lose on more than that now. Let's try this, and I think we need to wrap things up. Yeah. Outrun the bears. You know what? Actually, no. One last. Oh, I did start the player down. Okay, I thought they were up a bit more. I just wanted an accurate idea of where the duplicators will be by the time the player reaches them. It may take an actual player a moment to get their bearings and understand where they need to go. There's plenty of time. Grab a key. Grab a pretzel. Grab an energizer. Life is good. They're going to inherently want to ignore that one because they'll still have this first one that they didn't realize would be such a precious thing. Ooh, that was actually good timing. Didn't remember the door. Dang it. So you know what? I'm still up on health. I gotta do something with that. I might just get rid of the keys and doors and make it so each lap ticks down a counter or something. So that way the player doesn't have to concern themselves with anything but running their laps. Do I did it again? Sorry? Yeah, no. I'm bad at this. Well, that's 2. I'm just not even gonna bother at this point. I just want to pay attention to my health. Tiger Cycle. I didn't pick up any of the energizers either because I was too busy talking. Okay, I think this actually helps with the difficulty quite a bit. I'm still over 100 health. I mean, if they're not smart tigers. And our shifting enemy thing also is helpful, because, you know, you can just take the damage at that duplicator there like you saw, and the tiger gets touched, so it does get destroyed. So that duplicator down there isn't going to make anything else, but we're going to correct that with here. They start. I might put a transporter there just so the monsters... Well... I don't know. Because then you're going to transport right into them. I know this is 4. This is the last lap. It's rough. Frantic. I might try and make the geometry like a bit like the this part over here. I'm just gonna clear out this part here where it's still angular, but it's a lot less jagged. I make it more like that. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied though. Other than, I'm gonna make a note for myself. Note to future me. Get rid of the keys and doors. Have something count your laps instead, because I'm doing such a bad job of remembering to do the thing that lets you beat the board, because it's technically like one step out of the way. Do something up there. Smooth some of these. Sand down some of these corners. I think this will make it look a little... It's fun. Some parts of making a ZZT game on stream I really like, and other parts I really don't. Stuff like this, where, you know, you can actually just watch things changing and coming together, that's fun. I don't like doing writing, I don't like doing dialogue, I don't like doing something like puzzle design, or I also feel like I'm spoiling what to do. An audience of people who are interested and might actually, you know, play the game. Yeah, this looks okay. Instead, we're gonna gut this later. These will be objects that'll go away instead of doors. Down a little bit. So that's really the thing. I'm very bad at doing planning for a lot of my games. I really do just kind of make things up as I go, especially when it's something more classic ZZT adventure where kind of each board can just be whatever obstacle you can come up with, really, more than having to fit into like a greater narrative. My narrative here is find some stuff, touch some objects. But since I knew I was going to be streaming this, I did design my puzzle in advance. It's just going to be like I was messing around with ideas a bit, just trying to come up with something. I went for a... Let me just do this. Keep the solution, the notes off screen. Say XY, XYZ. So basically, it's gonna be, you're gonna get something, you're gonna see this. And you're going to pick colors to remove from here. And then you're gonna have something that shoots a bullet and it follows the arrow. So your goal is to come up with a combination of colors that allows you to shoot the goal. That's all that I came up with. I figured it was a lot easier to just do that off stream, because otherwise it was just a lot of finicky, wait a minute, this makes this a solution also valid, or like this breaks this solution now that I've changed this to accommodate for that. And ultimately, it's still not even like a super great puzzle. It's very simple. There's not a lot of options. And it is also going to be in the traditional ZZT style of like, hey, save your game before you commit to anything, because these objects are going to vanish, and if you choose incorrectly, you have to load your save, because I can't bring those objects back. But I also don't think I'm a super great puzzle designer with this either. What did Cutlass have for puzzles? That's the Captain Cutlass, the Treasure of Captain Cutlass, the game I did in the end of the year 2023. Download that and through. It was also a very simple game in terms of its puzzles, or action focused. Folder is this? Darby. It's in the Darby Town folder. That's where I was doing Darby Town stuff. Yeah, I think we're done with this for today. I'll show you Cutlass here. Happy Tuesday. Again, I had notes. This here isn't even a puzzle. This was just me trying to immediately teach players, once they found the key, how folders and sliders worked. And this is actually like the opposite of a puzzle. I had to design this in such a way of like, how can I make it so the player can interact with these things and not block off the entrance to this cave, which was kind of a fun challenge. I think there's a way you can actually get like really close to soft locking, but as far as I'm aware, it's impossible to lock yourself out here. What do you do for... You can see I rehash a lot of the same ideas too. But they're fun and quick to make. And I do like with this one that that's one thing I think this game has over what I'm making now, which is that I'm really filling the boards and using the space completely. Whereas here I was a lot more willing to say, like, no, we don't need the whole board. And with the rest of the board, like, we can draw something fun. Make this look a little nicer. The game I'm working on now, because I want to do it fast and quick on stream, it's just, you know, boxy rooms, basically. What goes here? Something. What else can I do with this space? I don't want to spend time coming up with backgrounds. A cave. There's a... No, this isn't really a puzzle here. You have to make sure you don't get blown up by bombs, but like... Well, I know. Yeah, you do have to like figure out a route here quickly to escape the initial blast. That's kind of something. This is an actual slider puzzle. And again, it's not a whole lot of stuff, but you can get stuck if you're not careful. Oh, that's a work in progress version. Oh, it's still the same though between iterations. Yeah, and you can see here's like this older version of this board, and I'm like, I'm gonna make sure to tell the player to save a bunch. I did a bunch of stuff like that. I made sure, like, if it's a board you can't shoot, I wanted text on the board specifically telling players. I wanted them to know in advance rather than when they're trying to shoot an enemy right in their face. This here is basically the board I was just working on in the other game. It's get some keys and do some laps. This one is more back and forth rather than a loop, but same concept. And again, yeah, it's got a bunch of duplicators. Yeah, not a whole lot puzzle-wise. There's a vault combination. Oh, there's this. There's one of these really simple touch some buttons, and it changes. It makes some of these appear and disappear as needed. Yeah, the only other real thing is to get like into the safe here. You gotta set a combination, but that's not really something you solve so much as you go out in the hedge maze here and look at statues. Make sure the things match. Number. Ah, okay, no, this is also a real actual puzzle. And this board, I remember, took me a long time to actually get right. These kind of things are just so difficult to just make it so that you can solve them without trivializing it. It's very difficult. I have so much respect for, like, people making these early ZZT games when slider and boulder puzzles were more in vogue, who, like, actually do so. Oh yeah, actually with Weave doing that is an easy way to just let the player reset a board. That could be a good tactic. And yeah, that's it. Okay. That's all I got. I'm gonna move over to the credits here. It's getting close to 3, and I gotta do some shopping today too, so let's get out of here. So thank you all for joining me as I make a little ZZT game for the holidays here. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to finish it before the year ends, because I'm definitely gonna take at least one more of these. This past week has been a mess. Lisma, thank you for the follow. But we'll be back again at some point. Definitely next Friday. I guess this Friday. At 6 o'clock Pacific. I'm going to be playing through a bit of Fantasy World Dizzy. Both the DOS version of that game, and then we're going to take a look at a ZZT conversion of it, which is a lot of fun. Gonna see what that's like. One is a platformer, one is not, so it's going to be some radically different takes on Dizzy. That'll be fun to see. Then Sunday... what did I have? I thought I still had something else set for Sunday. If I don't, it'll be more of this. We'll see. I might just try and squeeze in another stream at some point. See how it goes. I'm seeing your guide the raids in, so we'll get to that too. I think that's going to do it. As always, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. Got that link in chat here one last time. If you would like to help contribute to a strike fund currently impacting me and my partner, I would really appreciate that. But any kind of support is welcome. What else? Yeah, that's about it. I mean, we had a good number of folks here idling in the background. If you want to make a ZZT game yourself, it's pretty easy. Even I can do it. Hop on to our Discord or just visit the Museum of ZZT. There's plenty of reference materials and things you can find there to get started. It's a lot of fun. You can do stuff a lot more complex than this, but also not. It's kind of neat. Very much its own thing. So thank you all again for watching. To see you all next time. Later.